lineups. And for Rhode Island, they start 2 freshmen, Powell and Holton. Powell, the point guard. Texas also starts a freshman point guard, Mike Kabongo. But you also have Lewis and Holmes. 4 minutes, they trail by 12. Another long 3 way off the mark. Lewis too strong. Wilson, nice feed inside. Oh, what a pretty pass from Wilson.
A multiple offensive rebound possession. Chapman gets the first one, misses the little stick back.
Malesevic had a notion. Wilson, who was the big scorer, knocks down that 3-pointer. It's just his second field goal. He was the big scorer in their first game. And Rhode Island back within 6. So they've cut 11 points off what was a 17-point lead after missing their first 7 from downtown. They've hit their last 4.
Good extra pass by Malesevic. Good jumper by Wilson.
On ESPN2.
You know, the coaching ranks has really been hit by some terrible illnesses. You know, Pat Summitt with her, as Malesevic makes a long 3. What she's going through with the early. I mean, that's not an NBA 3. That's an NBA plus 3-point shot. I mean, that was just dementia. And then Billy Kennedy, the men's coach at Texas A&M, early onset Parkinson's. And, wow.
Powell sits down. TJ Buchanan comes in. They like Buchanan as well. Career-high 8 assists on Sunday night in addition to those 28 points. And got a lot of his points just in the flow of the offense. Malesevic is fouled. Basket will not count.
Back for finishing around the basket. It's a nice pass.
Malesevic, shot blocked. Lewis got a piece of it. Malesevic right back up and in, and it's a 1-point game.
Players gang rebounding. They're a small team. If they're not going to commit to where their guards, the bigs for Texas, are not going to be knocking it down from long range.
Malesevic felt some contact and threw it up at the rim, and he should get 3 free throws. What was on the line?
We got to go to the overhead view of that. I want to see it. I ask and I receive, and it's a definite 3-point shot. There's no doubt about it. They need to go and review that.
Yeah, that's what they will. I wasn't even close. So Malesevic will go to the line. Yeah, clearly behind. You know, Jim Barron, we talked about this earlier, he wants his players, if you're open, you shoot it. He was telling us a story about during the game, Malesevic was wide open, and he passed the ball. And Barron took him right out of the game, and he said to him, listen, if you're open, you shoot it. Malesevic's response was, don't worry, coach, it'll never happen again. He is not afraid to shoot. He's a terrific shooter from Serbia. Now a junior, hardly played as a freshman, made a nice jump as a sophomore, was first in the Atlantic 10 in 3-point shooting, and was asking him yesterday, boy, you really had a nice sophomore year. He said it was okay, I needed to be better, and this year I will be better. Very serious about his game.
You know what I like about like a school like Rhode Island? You have so many kids, we just think major college, you know, the BCS conferences where you're one and done.
Right. He's a senior. Brown spinning inside. Good no call. Now he comes here.
And I like his game, but he is a horrible flopper. That flop he just tried to take on the charge, that wouldn't fool anybody. Doc Rivers. But this is bad. That's bad. But you see the veracity of my statement?
Wilson. Because you were at shoot-around today, so you couldn't watch. I saw that.
Oh, that's true.
Malesevic misses. Powell kicks it back out. Malesevic for 3. Boy, they needed that.
And Powell made
fouled out. Foul called on Brown on the internet.
They do.
Yeah.
To the Rams radio network.
That's correct.
With Steve McDonald.
Yeah. Steve McDonald on call, the former player. And they get to listen to him. He likes to be on the post-game show after big games because then he's able to tell them, and he's done this on occasion, where I miss you, Mom and Dad, and I love you.
I wonder what help and then finding Chapman right in the middle of the lane.
Malesevic, that's a three. Timeout call by Jim Barron. The lead is cut to 12 with 4:45 remaining.
This time Brown
Had to sit for a while after picking up his fourth foul early in the half, and Brown commits another foul.
What players have learned from the NBA is to complain on the obvious fouls. So that was an obvious block, and Jacobin Brown complains.
By the way, right now, Corey Joseph by San Antonio. Malesevic with the foul, and a shot clock violation. Well, they play aggressive defensively, but too aggressive here this afternoon in Austin. Powell unable to get it. Malesevic is hammered with 7 seconds to go. I mean, they sent Texas to the free throw line 44 times. Well, they've got a bunch of teams. It's a nice tournament where you get to play a bunch.
Throw it up, and a new season and a new era of Rhody basketball is underway here at the Ryan Center. Foul was on Powell. That's his first. Hawkins with the pull-up. Way too strong, and the rebound.
A little bit earlier, and this time Pendarvis Williams able to get himself open on the inside.
Malesevic had that one shot, now finds Amon on the inside. Good look by Nick Malesevic.
Defensively, they play very similarly to Rhode Island, where they're giving pressure, they're helping out.
6 of the shot clock. Yeah, a little bit too much pressure that time as Johnson gets whistled.
To break down and just put the ball on the floor. That's exactly
Fuentes to the basket, can't get it, and here comes Malesevic, and that's knocked out of his hands. A foul called on Norfolk State. And that'll get us to our 12-minute timeout, and when we come back, we'll make his Rhody debut. Another freshman getting his first points. Mike Amon on the inside. 3-point game.
brings 3 players to the ball, making it very difficult to make that shot. 3 players converge on the ball. They come down on the fast break. Didn't really have their spacing very well, but Nick Malesevic does the right thing. Puts pressure.
Rhode Island debut, freshman out of Saginaw, Michigan. 6'10", 205, wearing number 4. And the senior out of Serbia will step to the free throw line. Mike Powell also on the court right now for the Rams. 2 free throws for Malesevic, who averaged 11 points a game last year. Played in 22 games, making 16 starts. Suffered a broken hand after going for a career-high 25 against Yale. Missed 8 games. Offense, Malesevic to the paint. Had it knocked away, but with that size, he can fight on the glass. Buchanan picks it up. Powell, crossover. Kick to Malesevic, open 3, is good.
Well, that was the play of the game.
Shove from his head coach. Same spot for Malesevic, same result. Timeout, Norfolk State.
What Rhode Island does is they work on certain things and they get the result. There you see Nick getting in the middle. We said before that they really are able to get some productivity when that happens. TJ Buchanan does a nice job, and Mike Powell doing what he needs to do as a point guard, gets inside and finds Malesevic in the corner for them.
Brian Brooks back into the game for Rhode Island. Malesevic wants to put on his own sprint to the basket, and he's fouled at the hoop.
Well, there you see field goal wise as well as from 3-point. But here you see Nick has got a piece of his game that's really very, very important. It's going to be important for this team. He has the ability to put the ball on the floor, find seams in the defense, and once he gets into the lane, he can shoot it with either his right or his left hand. And so we've seen him be really very successful, very effective in this basketball game because he's been able to shoot the ball on the outside, but he's also gotten on the inside.
With the coaching change, you wonder who's going to hang around. And so many players who we saw here at the end of last season with the Rams moved on. Less than 6 to play. First half 3-point lead for Rhode Island. Mumford to Malesevic, cutting to the basket for 2.
Norfolk State really pressuring, but there you see Malesevic being smart, breaks the play down. Instead of looking for the ball on the perimeter, makes that backdoor cut. Great pass, and Mike Powell says, yeah, that's a great
on the bench right now. 7 to go. Tough shot, good defense shown by Rhode Island. Brooks holds onto it. Chance for a final heave here from Powell. And they say it would not have counted if it went in, but that is a good way to end the half with a defensive stop for Rhode Island.
And we got the highlight on Nick Malesevic because once again, another excellent play on the defensive end by
Malesevic, the runner for 2.
Rhode Island. This is the kind of play we probably came right down on somebody's foot. There he goes right in. Probably sprained his ankle.
Malesevic was out of action for 2.5 minutes, 2:33 to be exact, and he picks up where he left off. Off the game. Off the injury, onto the court, and Malesevic taking it to the basket. Didn't work the first time, but hung with it for 2 of his 16 points. Hurry in the door. Here out there with the 3 personal fouls. Malesevic puts it away. Can't get the hoop, but a
bit this half and getting into the lane. That time Malesevic again clears out, gets into the lane, once again to the free throw line to make 2.
There's the first. Right.
We had those three free throws. Missed the first one and made 2 after that.
He does. Halfway through the second half. 10 minutes to go. 1-point lead for Rhode Island. Malesevic can't leave him open tonight. And you can't foul him when he's attempting a 3-pointer.
See how confidently he's playing in this game. Nick Malesevic doing it on the outside and...
As you've attended practices here in the preseason, the fact that you'll be watching for things like we just saw, getting the shooters free and teammates.
As we get into the last 10 minutes of this basketball game.
Fuentes tried the no-look inside. Malesevic saw it all the way. And a foul called on Rogers in the backcourt.
Time to do a little ad-libbing when you don't have your cue cards.
Definitely not up to speed on that. Norfolk State came out, went on a 13-3 run to start the second half to go on top by 5. Teams have gone back and forth a little bit.
As it was in the first. And how important are free throws, especially when you have one-on-ones and situations where you get 2. Rhode Island wants to get to the free throw line, but they have to convert in this line.
Williams doing a good job just trying to keep the ball out of Malesevic's hands. Extending the defense. Malesevic to the basket. Lays it in for 2. 26 now for center tonight. Good to see Abu here. I was a little concerned with all the shoveling he was doing, but he paced himself here on Cox Sports. Here's Malesevic, opening possession, spinning inside. Tipped it, still fighting on the glass. And then tipped in by Jordan Hare. That one knocked down by Mumford. There's Dillard. That won't go down, but there's a good job on the glass by Pierre, who Abu was just talking about, but couldn't control the dribble, and Malesevic has it with the
physical. And mentioned early in the broadcast that mental toughness.
Malesevic knocks down the 3. Dayton back the other way, couldn't finish. Malesevic fed to Amon. Spins it in for 2. And Amon. Mike getting an extended run here after knocking down a couple of field goals and a couple of 3s now. 9 total points in his previous 2 games, but has the range here in the early going. And diving for loose balls. Well, that's what you want to see, especially from a senior as Mumford back the other way. Malesevic, the kick to the corner. Powell will try a 3, and the 3-point shot usually. Mumford gets it with 5 on the shot clock. Lost his footing. Malesevic, a little one-hand runner, gets the roll.
And got fouled as well.
Got fouled, getting generous bounces, drawing contact. That foul goes against the Flyers, and guess who took the contact?
Here he comes up with the loose ball, shoots that shot, gets fouled. Ball goes in, fortunately, for Rhode Island so very effectively that Pierre had to switch up on Harry. It was no match for him on the offensive play.
Malesevic had time to tee up a 3, and
he had an open shot right at the 3-point line, but elected not to take it, using a little bit of the shot clock.
Takes off down the lane, and we'll go to the free throw line. Malesevic. Kicked over to Buchanan. Had a little trouble gathering it, but once he
Nikola Malesevic for the basket.
Now calls out a new play. Wants to get here in motion up top to set a screen. Now kicks it over from Munford. Picked up by Atkins, and now Malesevic. Three-pointer, good! And just like that, back-to-back threes for the Rams, and they're on top.
Ball screen defense. Georgia State does a lot of ball screen action on offense. Also, Rhode Island has to push in transition, and then finally, they've got to attack the offensive glass and exploit the Georgia State rebounder.
Loose ball straight to the top of the lane. Now has to give it up for White. Devontae White puts it on the floor. Now puts a jump shot up. No good. Malesevic fighting hard for that rebound. Gets hit from behind. But Chris, I think good hustle here out of the Rams early on, fighting for those. Powell back up top for Malone. He'll put it up for three. No good. Malesevic, another rebound. Able to make the fake and convert the layup. The Rams have jumped out to a 10-1 lead.
And there it is. Yeah, Rhode Island doing all the little things. They're shooting the ball well, obviously, but they're out rebounding Georgia State 6-1, which was one of the keys coming in. Malesevic really muscles his way in right there to collect the second chance points.
Confusion here out of the Rams.
Yeah, absolute confusion. And someone needs to make aggressive plays early in the shot clock and not get into situations like that where Malesevic bails you out, but that's not the shot that you want ideally against this zone.
Third turnover of the day for the Panthers. The Rams so far with just two. Malone looking inside. Malesevic, who's had the hot hand early on. Can he continue? Yes, he can. Dials it in from long range again. Nick Malesevic now rotation.
There's the flash by Malesevic, and then just miscommunication. No one goes with him. He's wide open. Knocks it down.
Yeah, we got to remember that.
Take a look.
It's White with the initial move there through the lane. Malesevic, you see him go up strong. And Kreider, yeah, just trying to flick the ball out of his hands. Caught him in the face. Trying to increase a three-point lead. Munford, who was held scoreless for the second straight game in the first half. He had 11 in the second half against SMU. As Malesevic able to drive in with the left hand off the glass.
Used, his quickness advantage to get to the glass for two.
Malesevic now with 13 points is heading in strong was White. And we get one of those, as the fans like to refer to, a mystery foul on Malesevic. They're going to say he had a little bit of contact on White as he penetrated there along the baseline. Let's take another look at it.
That looked pretty clean.
Powell now leaves it off for Malesevic. Trying to penetrate again. Hit on the way up by Bergilos. Powell giving great distance between him and Green. Here now looking inside for Malesevic. Malesevic through two Panthers. Gets hit on the way. Fouls now on Manny Atkins. The redshirt junior out of Tucker, Georgia. Malone gives it up to Munford. Back to the corner for Malesevic. Thought about three, now drives inside. Runs right into Bergilos. And they're going to whistle Bergilos for the foul.
Strong and was able to get himself a trip to the line for 2 here.
Now, here's another opportunity for Rams to kind of take their game to the next level. They got to start hitting their free throws. Malesevic, who's 1 of 3 on the day, make it 2 of 4 now for the big senior out of Serbia. And averaging just under 13 points a game on the season, a 69% free throw shooter. Connects on both. And the lead now for the Rams. Munford puts up the 3, no good. Malesevic fighting hard, able to get it in. Tough rebound, tough shot, but the big man comes through for the Rams here. See what Powell and the Rams could cook up here as we are approaching the midway point of the second half. Munford inside, Malesevic able to connect as he lays it in with a finger roll. 20 points now for Nick Malesevic.
Respect the switches and shooters.
Atkins puts up the 3, no good. Malesevic there for the rebound and gets hit right away by Kreider. That'll be 5 on Kreider.
He has been consistent and steady throughout for Rhode Island on both ends of the floor. He's taken it off the dribble. He's hit shots from the outside. He's been efficient out there. Munford certainly got going, got hot in the second half, but Malesevic has brought it for the full 40.
And wherever you go, there's the Supercuts to give you a cut that rocks. Supercuts has 31 Providence area locations, all dedicated to making you feel like a rock star. Check out supercuts.com to find a location near you. Rock the cut at Supercuts. And Malesevic, who is now 4 of 8 at the line, connects on a huge one to make it a 4-point game.
Yeah, shakes his head right there.
Rhode Island as a team now over 70% for the day.
One of the toughest places in the Atlantic 10 for road teams to win. That's the task facing Rhode Island tonight. The Rams in to face.
Leaves for Anderson. He'll pull up. Back iron. Martell battling for the rebound. And it's Harper who comes up with it. Brothers from the baseline. And Richmond coming out cold from the previous stop at St. Bonaventure. And there's the press. Leads to the Rams coming up with a turnover. And Malesevic, good sign for Rhode Island. Take a look at the icy hot sharpshooter report. A couple of sharpshooters here. We've seen both of them in what they've been able to do from deep. Malesevic for Rhode Island and Harper for Richmond.
T.J. Buchanan, who also had a nice first half. And there you see just before the half, Rhode Island gets a quick inbounds play.
Charge to D.J. Peterson, his first of the day. As Rhode Island trying to extend what is now a 5-point lead. Amon driving baseline, runs into Galloway and Wright. Gets it to Malesevic, who's able to finish from close range.
Well, Mike Amon
has LaSalle 12 of 13 at the free throw line. Galloway launches a 3. That one's going to be well short. Malesevic able to collect a rebound. He's 1 rebound shy now of a double-double. As Rhode Island trying to extend what is now a 5-point lead. Amon driving baseline, runs into Galloway and Wright. Gets it to Malesevic, who's able to finish from close range.
Well, Mike Amon.
Rams are going to have to get some offense going here. They look for Malesevic. Malesevic backing in on Peterson. Now Zach gets it to Amon, who's able to finish for the Explorers. Crunch time here for the Rams. Powell trying to work something on the perimeter with Malesevic. He's picked up by Peterson. Malesevic now inside the lane. Dishes out from Malone. Quick 3 from the corner. Gets it to go. And our Dunkin' Donuts dunk of the game. Like Amon.